I just want to take a few moments to introduce myself and a little bit about my class for each of my students and the parents of those students. So first off, I'm Mark Kavanaugh. I'm the new physics teacher at Forsyth Country Day School, and I couldn't be more excited to join the Fury community this fall. So a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. And yes, I am a sports fan, which means yes, I'm a long-suffering sports fan, as I do root for the Cleveland Indians, Cavaliers, and yes, I do admit it, I am a Browns fan as well. I also root for the Ohio State University, OH, to any of those Ohio State fans out there. So about my teaching experience, I've been teaching for 21 years. I taught for 2 years in Ohio before I moved here in 2001. I spent the next 16 years at Mount Tabor, where I started as a math teacher for 1 year, and then I transitioned to physics in 2002, where I taught physics for 15 years. Then 3 years ago, I moved over to the Career Center, so I've been there for 3 years, where I taught AP Physics 1, 2, C Mechanics, and C E&M, which is all 4 of the AP Physics that can be taught. Joining the Fury community this fall to start teaching physics and helping students at Forsyth Country Day School be successful and learn physics. So as you know, this is a physics class. Physics is a lab-based science. Lab-based sciences usually work in small groups, kind of close quarters, which is going to be very tough this fall. So what we're doing is we're going to suspend all hands-on lab activities. This way there's no need for your student or you to be touching and handling equipment that may or may not have been sanitized, cleaned from a previous class. So what we're going to do is I'm going to create a series of videos where we'll just do data collection from the videos. I will still do the lab, pre-lab discussion in front of the class as I always would. We'll do the post-lab. It's just the students will be in charge of thinking about how they set it up and how they would collect their data using the video process from their Chromebook or their laptop or their smartphone to collect data. Your child or your safety is top priority. I know some of you will be Fury flexing this fall, which will make it easy for you to collect data using those videos. And I want to make sure that we are working in keeping that social distance space of 6 feet, and we can't do that if we're going to have hands-on activities and do labs. So we'll just use the videos that I create to collect data. Now, since I'm new and a handful of people know who I am, you may not be able to read my facial expressions. So I'm going to give you a little insight into being able to read my facial expressions. So I'm going to go ahead and put on my handy dandy Forsyth Country Day. And I'm going to show you a couple pictures of what you'll see on my face for different emotions. All right, so this is a picture of me being happy because I'm excited to see all of you coming into my class. This is a picture of me being sad when you leave my class at the end of the class period because I'll miss you. This is a picture of me being angry because somebody did something they weren't supposed to do. Here's a picture of the excitement I have when all of you completely understand the topic that I was teaching. All right, I hope that was helpful so that you can be able to read my face. I have other expressions that you'll just have to learn throughout the year, so I hope that is helpful so that you can see and be able to understand. Here's a compilation of all of those pictures. All right, in all seriousness now about my class. This year we're going to use Google Classroom. I will post all assignments and activities and handouts and everything in Google Classroom, but the assignments will also be posted in On Campus, so that way parents, if you need to follow up behind your child to see where they're doing, what they're doing, how they're doing, you can go ahead and follow along in On Campus. Unfortunately, parents cannot join in Google Classroom, so this is just going to be a place where the handouts are going to be for the students and instructions on assignments, and you'll be able to see when those assignments are due in On Campus. Students, for my class, you're going to need a lab notebook. I call it a lab notebook. It's a composition book. It's called a quadrille ruled composition book. A quadrille rule, just fancy because it's got graph paper inside. So we do a lot of graphing in physics, a lot of times when we draw lines that the length of the lines matter, so it's easiest to do that on graph paper. Plus the composition books also have unit conversions from English units to metric units, things like that, so it's important to have that to reference it. Students will also need 3-ring binders. If you plan to print out the handouts that I give you on Google Classroom, that is on you. I'm trying not to exchange paper at all in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to handle a piece of paper, then hand it to a student, and it's just being handled too much. So it's just easier that if you print it at home, then there's no worries about somebody else having handled the pieces of paper. So if you choose to, by all means, I'm not going to require it. Sometimes it's easier to work on it, but in this case, you can do whatever you need to do, whatever is best for you. So the 3-ring binder would be used for that, and some paper that you might want to take notes on, notebook paper instead of on graph paper. So that would be what the 3-ring binder. 1 inch, 1.5 inch 3-ring binder should be more than enough. Of course, you should have pencils. We can use pen. We're going to practice writing. The AP exam, if we're in person, is going to be written in pen, so we'll do some practice writing in pen for those of you that are in my AP course. If you're in my regular physics class, then you just need a pencil with an eraser, because I make mistakes in physics still after 18 years of teaching it, and I know that you're going to make mistakes, and that's great because we learn from mistakes. And lastly, you're going to need your TI 83, 84, whatever calculator that you have that you use for math class, and because we're going to do a lot of data analysis using that calculator, and it's best if you have one. It's much easier, obviously, than if you don't. So I hope this was helpful. I want all of you to have a great day and an even better tomorrow. Can't wait to see you on Wednesday.